Hey guys, what's up? So good evening to y'all. It's your bro Rich here again. Tonight in this video is now an extended video of the previous SSC Ultimate Aero video. And tonight I'm still on the intro of this, so I'm back. So let's continue. So, let's see, the Roll 2013, the Guinness World Records. However, the investigation reinstated the rear end as the record holder. So I'm just reading where I left off. Okay, so we're on the right track, so let's do it. So the SSC Ultimate Aero wasn't sold, so was not sold. So the SSC Ultimate Aero is not sold with electronic driver aids, such as either ABS or traction control. So either ABS or traction control. The only car that I know of without traction control from the early to mid late 2000s was for my year, the 2005 Porsche Carrera GT, which that car had no driver aids at all whatsoever, no ABS, stability control, traction control. It is just literally, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight type thing. You're like on a knife edge with that car, especially with skilled drivers who made it out alive, and some unfortunately not as we would have hoped. Like for example, Paul Walker, and also his business partner and buddy Roger Rodas, who's also a professional racing driver. They were both killed on November 30th, 2013. May rest in peace, Roger and Paul. But there's many supercars out there, not just Carrera GTs, but there's many without any driver rates. I know it's just nuts. But over the years, cars got more safer with electronics. Mainly supercars, hypercars have, but they've been adding a lot of weight, affecting the performance, fuel economy, handling, all that kind of stuff. But it's just crazy. Anyway, so the SSC Ultimate Aero is not sold with electronic driver aids, such as ABS or traction control, as according to Gerard so his first name is spelled Jerod, Shelby, no relation at all to Carol Shelby, may rest in peace. So this is a quote. I'll do this so not to so so to so you know to know that the quote ended so in speech marks. So early design philosophy on the car was to make it a driver's car. I wanted a car that you not only throttled with your right foot, but at times you could steer with your right foot and a sensor. Now, steering with your right foot, I mean, yeah, I've seen people do that like in videos, not in real life, but in videos people usually do that. But really, like, would you want to? I would say I would not. Like with hands, it's just better. With feet, it's just completely weird. Like, who in the hell would even do that? I wouldn't. Like, I would not. Anyways, so let's not get too carried away. Anyways, so let's move on. So next part, as always, overviews next. So let's do it. So manufacturer was by SSC North America. SSC North America. Production years between 2004 to 2013. Its assembly is its assembly was its assembly is at the city of Richland in Benson County, Washington. Benson County, Washington. Benson County, Washington. And as of the 2020 census, the city's population was 60,560 people. So its assembly was at Richland, in the city of Richland, Benson County, Washington. Um, Body and chassis next. The class was a sports car, part of the S segment, well, supercar technically. Body style is a two-door coupe. The layout is rear mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, and the doors are butterfly doors. Pretty cool. Better than gull wings at least. Powertrain is next. For the motor, it's got a GM LS based small block from Chevy. So it's a General Motors LS based small block V8. So there's a few different versions of this. Standard LS, and then we got the SSC versions of those motors. So, so they're all are V8s from different years. So from 2004 up until 2013. So for 2004, it's got a 6.2 liter V8. For 2005, 6, and 7, all three had 6.3 liter versions. The first three were supercharged 2004, 2005, and 2006. Whereas in 2007, it's got the same motor, but it's been swapped out and it's got glued on, like welded onto the motor, like the icing or like the cherry on the cake. Twin turbos. That's right, twin turbos. It's got instead of supercharger like 2004, 2005, and 2006 had in 2007, they replaced it with twin turbos instead, which is much better, which is much lighter than the supercharger, anyways. And turbos, I believe, they give out way more boost than superchargers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, sure, they do take a while just to spool up, depending on how many turbos you got. Four, definitely, like the Bugattis, it takes a while, but with two or one at least, it's not a problem. But it takes a while just for the boost to like build up, like for the boost pressures to build up, and then boom, straight out you go, burst of acceleration, full power. And if you want full boost for turbo cars, my advice is, if it's necessary, my advice is do it at an airfield, because if you do it on the streets, you'd be screwed. And it's power shifting, where you basically shift without lifting your foot off the gas. For turbo cars, it has a better advantage. What that does, if you do that, like shift while you're not taking your foot off the gas, so you just keep it pinned down all the way, and you just shift, just only pushing the clutch with your left foot, and you just keep your right foot welded down all the way. For that, what that does is it keeps the motor at full boost for maximum acceleration between gear shifts, which is pretty useful. But one wrong move and you're done. Like, you're screwed. So whatever you do, do not try and screw it up as much as you can, because it would not end well, trust me. Like, I've seen the movie Born to Race 2011. It had the exact same feature to it. But yeah. And it is what it is. Anyway, so back to the powertrain for the motors. For 2004 all the way to 2006, it's got it's got a supercharged V8. For 2004, it was a 6.2 liter. For both 2005, 6, and 7, there was slightly increased only from 6.2 to 6.3 liters. So in 2004, they had for 2004 it had a 6.2 liter V8 in 2004, and 2005, 6, and 7, 6.3 liters. The main difference is that the first three were supercharged, the last one was twin turbocharged. Now I got the SSC versions. So for 2009, it's got a twin turbocharged V8. Still the same 6.3 liters as 2007. Then we got the last one, 2013. So the last one, 2013, which, yeah, also has a twin turbo V8. Twin turbo V8. So twin turbocharged V8. But that one has been increased to 6.9 liters. That's almost 7 liters. That's nuts. A 7-liter twin turbo V8 for 2013. That's wild. And unfortunately, yeah, this literally kind of went onto a little diet. Basically, this says they also got the Ultimate Aero EV version, meaning it has two liquid cooled, fluid cooled, as I like to call it, electric motors. What? Like for years, I've not known that feature until now. What? Electric motors? Who in the world, who in their right mind thought it was a good idea? Electric motors in a V8 hypercar like this? Well, supercar? What? Oh my god, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I know, I'm thinking, why the hell did they have electric motors for this? Urgh. In a supercar? Hell no. No. In a Prius, obviously they would have terrible shitbox. Excuse my language, but it's true. But a supercar like that? No way. Hell no. No way, no hell. No way. Honestly, two liquid cooled electric motors for the Ultimate Aero EV version. What? It makes no sense what is going on. Anyways, let's not get carried away. Now we got the transmissions, so the gearboxes in general. So the first one is a 3-speed automatic for the EV only. The rest are manuals. Starting off with the first one, so for the EV only was a 3-speed auto. Now we got the manuals. So for for the SC slash 8T only, it had a 5-speed manual. Then we got the twin turbo version, which had my most favorite one, a 6-speed manual. And then for the XT version only, it had it had a 7-speed automated manual. So it's kind of like an automatic, but it's like a manual gearbox. You just basically shift yourself by just using either the paddle shifters if it has, or just using the automatic stick shift. I don't know how automated manuals really work, to be honest. Yep. So I had a 7-speed automated manual for the XT version only. Now I got dimensions. It's pretty basic, pretty easy now. Not too crazy. So not too little, not too much, but just right. So starting off with the first one is the length. So now in dimensions, starting off with the first one. Starting off with the first one is the length. That goes in at 4,475 millimeters. 100, 176.2 inches. Width, dead on straight at 2100 millimeters. 82 point, so dead on straight at 24, that's right, dead on straight at 2100 millimeters, 82.7 inches in width. Height, 1092 millimeters, so 1092 millimeters for height. Dead on straight at 43 inches. Curb weight goes in between 2800 to 2848 pounds, which is 1270 to 1292 kilos. So that is a 48 pound, 22 kilo difference there. Chronology is next. For the successor was the SSC Tuatara. Alright, so moving on. So was I. So in April 2013, the Guinness World Records, or GWRs, temporarily disqualified the Veyron's record time for a period of 5 days, 120 hours, due to concerns about electronic speed limiting, changing the function of the car, but after investigation reinstated the Veyron as the record holder. Wonder what that sound is Coca-Cola. I put also ice into it, which is a problem for me because I do not have tonsils. I got them removed when I was little, when I was a young kid, and which is a big issue for me because I can get sick pretty quick. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's just one. Anyways, so yeah. So in April 2013, at that time when Need for Speed was being filmed, and a month before the new Furious 6 movie was out, and 7 months before Paul Walker died. May rest in peace. So in April 2013, during the early 2010s, the GWR, Guinness World Records, temporarily disqualified the Veyron's record time for a period of 5 days due to concerns about electronic speed limiting, changing the function of the car, but after investigation reinstated the Veyron as the record holder. The Ultimate Aero wasn't sold with electronic driver rates such as either ABS or traction control, as according to Gerard Shelby, sorry. So Gerard Shelby, is no relation at all to Carroll Shelby. May rest in peace. So no relation to Carroll Shelby. Early design philosophy of the car. So early design philosophy on the car was to make it a driver's car. I wanted a car that you not only throttled. So I wanted a car that you not only throttled with your right foot, but at times you could steer with your right foot and a sensor. Next up, history. The next one we got is the 2004 SSC Aero SC/8T number. So the 2004 SSC Aero. So the 2004 SSC Aero SSC Aero, not also just a standard Aero, SC/8T number 1. The first SSC Aero prototype. The first SSC Aero prototype was completed in 2000 was completed in 2004, a year before I was born, and began road testing in anticipation of the SSC Ultimate Aero production car. Now I got the specifications of that, because these are just legit damn wild. Starting off with the motor, it's got a 6.2 liter supercharged LS1 V8. So it's Chevy based V8. So it's a 6.2 liter supercharged LS1 V8. So 6.2 liter supercharged LS1 V8, 6,600 RPM for power, 5,800 for torque. It made 911 horsepower and 771 pound-feet, 1,000 1,045 newton meters of torque. Redline was at 7,200 RPM and has a claimed top speed of 250 miles an hour, which is level with the Bugatti Veyron. So level with the Bugatti Veyron. So it's claimed 249 miles an hour, level with the Bugatti Veyron. Curb weight, it goes in at 2,700, 2,700 and so 2,700 and so 20, 2,700, 2,712, 2,700, 2,700, 2,712 pounds, which is dead on straight at 1,230 kilos. So 1,230 kilos. But that's dry weight. Presumably, it would add probably an extra 100 or an extra 90 or so pounds, probably an extra 30, 40 kilos with fluids, or maybe more. It really depends. So, yeah, dry weight goes at 2,712 pounds, which is 1,230 kilos. Again, again, with fluids, it's probably somewhere around there. Next is the uh, SSC Ultimate. Next is the SSC Ultimate Aero. SSC Ultimate Aero, SC/8T number 2 car from 2005. So 2005 year I was born. So wind tunnel testing include so wind tunnel testing wind tunnel testing indicated that the Ultimate Arrow could theoretically reach a top speed of 200 275 miles an hour, same as a Koenigsegg A.K.A. R 2012. Well, 273 it does, but oh well, still the same. Given appropriate gear ratios, gear ratios. Although the supplied gearbox would result in only 268 miles an hour, I mean, a little bit less, but still pretty fast. I mean, by 7 miles an hour less, but still pretty quick. So 268 miles an hour at the car's red line. The base Aero, so the standard one, however, had a theoretical top speed of about 230, and a theoretical top speed of about 234 miles an hour, which is a little bit faster than the 2011 Pagani Huayra. And 234 miles an hour. That was a bit of a reference to the 2014 movie Need for Speed, where Toby Marshall, played by Aaron Paul, tested out the Shelby Mustang, and and Julia, played by Imogen Poots, I think, recorded a speed trap of 234 miles an hour. After Dino Brewster, played by Dominic Cooper, got pissed when got pissed off when Toby Marshall took the car, just in general, just testing it out to its top speed. When Dino said no, and Pete, played by Harrison Gilbertson, he just basically watched. Smart kid. But yeah, there is possibility actually that a new Need for Speed movie might be made. It's not confirmed, it's not clear yet, but at some point in the near future, it might possibly potentially happen, and we might see a glimpse of Vin Diesel joining the movie. God knows how that's gonna happen, or if it's gonna happen anyways. But there's potentially ways to happen, and if Pete would return and Dino as well, and the rest of the original cast for Need for Speed, that would be perfect. Even the even the well-known actor who played Benny, it was Kate Cutie. So Kid Cudi, Kid Cudi, the American rapper, who literally he sang "Stars in the Sky" for the 2022 film Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And somewhere around next year or the year after, there's going to be the new Sonic 4 film for 2027. And also the new Fast 11 film as well. I mean, I'm more excited about Fast and Furious. Sonic, yeah, I am, but I mean, it is weird for me because obviously I'm an adult, 20 years old. It's weird, just seeing Sonic, but well, I mean, it's a new movie. We have to, like, sometimes we have to watch it so we know what happens in the story and whatnot. But well, anyways, completely forgot where I was now. So let's just do it again. So the SSC Ultimate Aero, SC8T number two from 2005. So wind tunnel testing, wind tunnel testing, wind tunnel testing indicated that the Ultimate Aero could theoretically reach a top speed of 275 miles an hour, given appropriate gear ratios. Although the supplied although the supplied gearbox would result in a in a speed of 268 miles an hour at the car's red line. A little bit less, but still pretty fast. The base Aero, however, the standard one. So the base Aero, however, the standard one, had a theoretical top speed of about 234 miles an hour. The Ultimate Aero um, accelerates from 0 to 60 in 2.78 seconds. Well, 2.7, right off, it's close to 2.8 seconds. Unfortunately, slower than the Bugatti Veyron, which achieves 0 to 60 in 2.46, well, 2.5 seconds. Partially due to its all-wheel drive system. Alright, now I got the specifications for this version. So so for specifications for the motor, it's got essentially the same motor, but this time it's been increased to 6.3 liters, and this time it's the motor from the Corvette C5R. So that's pretty cool. So it's a 6.3 liter supercharged V8. So it's a 6.3 liter supercharged V8 from the Corvette C5R. Same RPM for both power and torque as the 6.2 liter version. Same horsepower and torque RPMs as the SSC Aero SC18 number 1 from 2004. So from 2004. But this time the power output for that is a little bit less than what it was, in fact, by around 120 horsepower, but still pretty powerful. 791 horsepower. And the torque a little bit less, by only just 33 pounds. So 33 pound-feet, 45 newton meters. So 33 pound-feet, 45 newton meters less. So I made 791 horsepower and 738 pound-feet. Right up like 740, 1,000 newton meters of torque. Same red line, 7,200 RPMs. This time, its top speed maxed out. This time is a little bit decreased by 15 miles an hour. So it's decreased from 249 to 234 miles an hour. I mean, a little bit slower, but still pretty fast. For dry weight, it's added an extra 154 pounds more. So 70 kilos extra weight to it. So now it goes in at 28, so 2,866 pounds, 1,300 kilos dead on. Next is 2006. So, styling of the Aero includes the use of butterfly doors, similar to those founded on both the McLaren F1 and Ferrari Enzo. Could be the other way around, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, carbon fiber and titanium are used are used throughout the car, um, helping to limit the weight to 2,800 to 2,866 pounds, which is dead on straight at 1,300 kilos. For the standard Aero, the Ultimate Aero version, so the SSC Ultimate Aero, was the final was the final version. So the final version of the prototype, introduced in 2006. It had an increased motor displacement um of 6.3 liters, and increased boost pressure to 100 kPa. So presumably that must be around, I don't know what it is. So what is it in PSI? So what is it in PSI? kPa. 100 kPa to PSI. Oh, 14.5 PSI boost. Not too bad. For each 1 kPa is 0.145038 PSI a boost. It's around 14.5 PSI, which is not bad. So increased boost to 100 kPa is around 14.5 PSI boost. Now got specifications. So so essentially it's got the same motor pretty much as the previous car from 2005. But this time RPM's been increased from 6600 to 6950, so 350 RPMs more than before. And for power, from 5800 to to 6200, so an extra 350 RPMs for power. So 350 RPMs for power and 400 RPMs for torque more than standard. So it made, from the supercharged 6.3 liter V8 from the Corvette C5R, the motor, it made 1,046 horsepower. Ow. Ow. I just clicked when I did like that. It does that sometimes. So it made 1,046 horsepower, which is not bad. Level with the normal Bugatti Veyron from 2005. So 1,046 horsepower and 821 pound feet. 820 821 800 821 pound feet. 1113 newton meters of torque, So 6,950 RPMs of power, 6,200 RPM, 6,200 for torque. Redline was 7,200 RPMs. Top speed is 249 while 250 miles an hour. Dry weight, so again without fluids, goes at 2,646 pounds, which is 1,200 kilos, which is 220, 220 pounds, 100 kilos lighter than the previous versions. Now we got 2007 to 2008. So, um, the Ultimate Aero TT was a the Ultimate Aero TT was a twin turbo version of the standard Ultimate Aero. So this was 2007 2008. The six speed manual was readjusted to be increased to theoretical top speed theoretical top speed of 270 theoretical top speed of 273 miles an hour at only 7,200 RPMs. Wheels on the base model are sized are 16 point not 16 so 18.1 inches at the front and a massive 18.9 at the rear. So technically 18 inches front, 19 inches rear. So 18 inches front, 19 inches rear. While the Ultimate Aero TT has wheels an inch larger at each end. The 2007 models are heavier, with the base model weighing 2,866 pounds, which is dead on street at 1,300 kilos. And the ultimate version, 2,756 pounds, 1,250 kilos. So that's a difference in those. I just did an equation here. 110 pounds, 50 kilos difference there. Unlike the previous year, base models have a navigation. So base models have a navigation system. 10 speaker audio, CD DVD system, video DVD screen, backup camera, air conditioning. So backup camera, air conditioning, and trunk space as standard equipment. These came optional. On the ultimate version of the car. The first production 2007 Ultimate Aero TT car was sold on eBay. I mean, you rarely see it nowadays. Rarely you see cars sold on eBay. Like, I mean, yeah, you would see Craigslist and whatnot, but eBay, you would rarely see one sold. Mainly, you would see them in like rough condition. You rarely see any in pristine, or rarely any at all. Anyways, yeah. The first production '07 Ultimate Aero TT car was sold on eBay. For $431,100, less than $500,000. That's just crazy. Later cars are excuse me. Later cars are expected to cost $285,000. Only 24 of those Ultimate Aero twin turbo cars were produced from 2006 to 2007. That's one more than what Honda made with their NSX Type R, which they made only 23 when they first made the car back in 2005, 2006, something like that. Say only 24 of those Ultimate Aero twin turbos were produced from 2006 to 2007. The Ultimate Aero TT made its Uh, International debut on the international international shows international international show circuit, ISC international show circuit. uh, in November 2006, the Ultimate Aero TT claimed the GWR for the fastest production car after it was officially timed at 255 miles an hour in Washington for 2008. The Ultimate Aero received 4 updates: a new twin turbo V8, new aluminum motor block, standard monoblock HRE wheels, and a Azentec Atlas computer infotainment system. Now I got specifications. So for the motor, it's got a bored out version of the 6.3 liter LS6 V8 paired with twin turbos. It made 6,950 RPMs of power, 6,950 RPMs of power, 6,950 RPMs of power, 6,150 for torque. It made 1,180 horsepower. That's close to what a Bugatti Veyron had. Only 20 horsepower, but still, it's level with the super sport version of the Bugatti Veyron. I mean, yeah, sure, I could smoke a standard Veyron out, but the SS version, watch out, it might bite you if you would go head to head with that car. Rear-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive, manual versus automatic, twin turbos versus quad turbos. Yeah, you get that. You get the memo. So anyway, it's got a bored out version of the 6.3 liter twin turbo. It's got a bored out version of the 6.3 liter twin turbo LS6 V8. 6,950 RPMs of 6,950 RPMs of power, 6,950 RPMs of power, 6,150 RPMs of torque. So 6,950 RPMs of power, 6,150 RPMs of torque. It made 1,180 horsepower, close to 1,200 horsepower, 961 pound-feet, 1,303 newton meters. So 1,330 not 30, sorry, 1,303 newton meters of torque. Red line was 7,200 RPMs, 7,200 RPMs. Top speed 256 miles an hour. Dry weight without the fluids like oil, fuel, coolant, all that kind of stuff, brake fluid. It weighs in at 2,756 pounds. 2,756 pounds, which is 1,250 kilos. Like most small sports cars will weigh that much. Next is the SSC Ultimate Aero Twin Turbo version. So, in 2009, the end of the 2000s, before the start of the very early 2010s, SSC updated the Ultimate Aero TT with the new version having an increase in power of 15, so 15%. So I say it slower because sometimes I'm saying like, sometimes it sounds like I'm saying 50 instead of 15. So not 15, but like 50, like 50. You know what I mean? But yeah. In 2009, the end of the 2000s, so the end of the 2000s, before the start of the very early 2010s, SSC updated the Ultimate Aero TT with the new version having an increase in power of 15% over the older model. SSC predicts a top speed of over 267 miles an hour, as faster than 267 miles an hour as possible, as faster than a Bugatti Veyron, and it's going level with the Koenigsegg Gira R, which that is 273 miles an hour. So 6 miles an hour faster. So yeah, SSC predicts a top speed of over 267 miles an hour is possible. In order to prevent the motor from overheating, airflow to the motor um has been increased by 20% with new louvers. So with new carbon fiber louvers. The front end has been redesigned to make the car more aerodynamic, and the interior has been redesigned. This new Aero also has a new aero brake system, kind of like air brake system, something like that, which is a rear wing which rises up to almost 8 inches when the brake is pressed. Like the only car that I know has that kind of like the only other car that I know has this system was the SLR McLaren. So when the brake is pressed, this updated model reached a top speed of 258 miles an hour in a test according to SSC. Now we got specifications. Despite the name of it being TT, it's got SSC's 6.3 liter V8. If that's not enough, for a little added bonus, yep, you guessed it. For the icing on the cake, they added twin turbos to it, obviously. So yeah, a 6.3 liter twin turbocharged SSC V8, and it was at 6,100 RPMs for both power and torque. Actually, usually it'll be different, but this time is both the same. It made, holy cow, 1,287 horsepower, close to 1,300 horsepower, and 1,106 pound-feet dead on straight at 1,500 newton meters. So dead on straight at 1,500 newton meters. So dead on straight at 1,500 newton meters. That's crazy. Red line was 72. Red line was 7,200. The red line was 7,200 RPMs. Top speed was 257. Top speed was 257 miles an hour. So top speed was 257 miles an hour. Dry weight was pretty much the same as the 2007-2008 version, 2,756 pounds, which is 1,250 kilos. Still pretty light for a supercar, well, hypercar like this. The only thing that they don't really explain to this car is the 0 to 60 with this version, because it doesn't show, unfortunately. Nor does it show like the quarter mile. Maybe because it doesn't really do a quarter mile. Either that, or they just don't bother with the quarter mile times at all. But anyways, a 2009 so a 2009 SSC Ultimate Aero, albeit with a new prototype SSC Tuatara gearbox fitted, was able to complete 6 runs of 0 to 186 miles an hour from 15.1 to 15.8 seconds. So from 15.1 to 15.8 seconds, according to SSC's gear ratio testing results. There's a little interesting part, a little Easter egg from Top Gear. Like they showed the picture of the car, but they never even pronounced the name of the car. It was just like the funniest thing ever. Honestly, it was just insane. It's like they can't pronounce the name Huayra for Pagani, or Tuatara for SSC. I think that's how you pronounce it, Tuatara. I think, I don't know, but I think it might be that. I'm not too sure. But it was just the most funniest, hilarious thing ever. Like honestly, I mean, I like the USA version better, but for like entertainment, well, if it's for fun, if it's like funny, the UK version obviously just beats that by miles. But oh well, I mean, I've seen the UK version for years. The US version, I mean, I like it, but I just get bored from it from time to time. I'll be honest. Anyways, yeah, a 2009 SSC 2009 SSC Ultimate Aero, albeit with a new prototype, SSC Tuatara gearbox fitted, was able to complete 6 runs. Was able to complete 6 runs, 6 runs of 0 to 186 miles an hour, from 15.1 to 15.8 seconds, according to SSC's gear ratio testing results. Next is another version of the SSC Ultimate Aero. But this time, it's known as the SSC. This version is going to disappoint you all, but the performance is wild. The SSC Ultimate Aero EV. Really? Like, what? Why? An electric version of that? Come on, really? Who would want to go with that? I mean, if you were to go with that, just stick with the V8, obviously. Even though it's not going to last long, because obviously in the next years or so, the internal combustion engines will be gone completely. I say probably it's around 2030 should be like be gone at some point. I'm not too sure. But at some point, maybe 2030, 2035, they're only gonna have like electric cars. Or if that's not efficient enough, possibly hydrogen. The only issue with that is that there might not be enough hydrogen filling stations around the world, which is a problem. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm ready for hydrogen cars. I mean, electric, never, but hydrogen, it's said to be like much more efficient than electric. I don't know how that's going, but at some point it should be good. I mean, it should be better than electric, honestly. And if it isn't, what's the whole point of it then? Anyways, so the next one is the SSC Ultimate Aero EV. In 2009, SSC 2009 SSC announced that they would be commencing in 2009. SSC announced that they would be commencing production of the Ultimate Aero EV, an electrically powered version of the motored Ultimate Aero with the big V8s and whatnot. This car featured twin electric motors, two electric motors, making it all-wheel drive probably. Claimed to be capable of producing 1,000 horsepower and 800 pound feet, 1,085 800 pound feet, 1,085 newton meters of torque through a 3-speed auto. So it's not too bad. I mean, it's better than having no gearbox at all. I mean, 3-speed autos, not too bad. SSC claimed that the car would be able. SSC claimed that the car would be able to accelerate from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds and reach a top speed of 208 miles an hour. However, the car never entered production. Like, what's the point? Really? Like, they do concept cars like this. They just usually show what they can make, but they just can't be bothered. Like, what's the point of making a concept car if they're never and showing how cool it looks if they're never gonna put it into production anyways? Like, what's the whole point of that? Like, like they're wasting valuable time on cars that they will never ever produce in the real world in production. Just save the ideas. Go with something new, something that they can really put into production, instead of having to waste people's time and wait for that to happen. Say, however, the car never entered production, which is a shame, unfortunately. Next is the 2013 version. So, In 2013, SSC introduced the Ultimate Aero XT, which was a special version um of the Ultimate Aero that was built to celebrate the end of its production. So to celebrate the end of its production, because obviously in 2013 they fully ended production. From there, 5 XTs were planned, but only one was built. The other four just went scattered everywhere. So, but only one was built. The other four were just completely forgotten. They utilized they they utilized they utilized some components that were designed for its Tuatara replacement. For example, the XT was fitted with SSC's new 6.9 liter, well 7 liter if you round up, all aluminum twin turbocharged V8 and a 7-speed paddle shifted automatic a 7-speed uh, paddle shifted gearbox, presumably it's automatic or manual, either one. Next is specifications. So for the motor, obviously it's got a 6.9 or 7 liter twin turbo SSC V8, 6,800 RPM